The grand convocation chamber shimmered with iridescent hues, the walls pulsating in rhythm with an unseen heartbeat. Beneath the vault of shifting light, an eclectic assembly of diplomats from the galaxy's most advanced civilizations exchanged skeptical glances. Their features, diverse and alien, reflected skepticism with subtle dignity. High Admiral Tetharian of the Obrinian sovereignty adjusted the folds of his silver-etched cloak, his 6 eyes narrowing in faint amusement as a human delegate stumbled through a presentation. A hologram of a high-energy laser flickered above the room's center, spinning in slow, exaggerated detail. "Impressive," remarked Envoy Pelik-Jah of the Zeltric Union, her chitinous face twitching in what approximated a smirk. "If one were organizing fireworks displays." Tetharian inclined his head. "Indeed, perhaps humanity aspires to entertain rather than defend." Across the table, Ambassador Griv of the Euloran Collective rumbled a low, wet chuckle. His gelatinous body shifted hues, a deep green of mild irritation. "Their ambition is admirable, but we mustn't overstay. Our schedules overflow with more pressing engagements." Humans stood on the periphery of the chamber, their tense smiles betraying unease. A senior diplomat leaned toward another. "Are they mocking us?" "Diplomatically," the other murmured. The presentation dragged on. Additional weapons flickered in holographic sequence, each eliciting polite nods and murmurs from the diplomats, the universal language of faint disdain. "These lasers," Tetharian mused aloud, his tone neutral, "are clever toys, but such technology is ancient history where I hail from." "Then we're agreed," Pelik-Jah said, her mandibles clicking sharply. "Shall we adjourn? My fleet awaits." Griv's gelatin rippled. "Yes. This exercise has clarified one thing. There is no immediate threat from Earth. It may be worth revisiting in another millennium." The humans' polite smiles faltered. Just as the diplomats rose, a ripple formed in the air, a distortion, subtle at first, then a visible warping of the chamber's space. The light dimmed, shadows pooling unnaturally along the floor. He appeared without warning, a figure cloaked in deep black, standing motionless at the center of the room. His presence silenced every murmur. His hood obscured most of his face, but his eyes, piercing and aglow with an unearthly intensity, scanned the chamber with a precision that made even the Obrinian High Admiral hesitate. No words accompanied his arrival, only the faint hum of energy vibrating the walls. He reached out a gloved hand, and a distortion bloomed in the air beside him, a small tear in space-time that closed with an audible snap. The figure's voice, low and resonant, broke the stillness. "We worked tirelessly to bring you all here. Leave if you wish. Others will gladly listen." The words hung in the air, weighty and undeniable. Then, as abruptly as he had come, the figure dissolved into the ether, his departure marked only by the faintest crackle of displaced air. The diplomats remained stunned, their carefully cultivated diplomatic facade cracking. Tetharian's 6 eyes widened, his silver cloak momentarily forgotten. "Krell's breath," he muttered, an Obrinian expletive rarely uttered in formal settings. Griv's gelatinous form quivered violently, shifting through a chaotic palette of colors. "Vaktar preserve us," he sputtered, his usual measured tone replaced by raw bewilderment. Pelik-Jah's mandibles clattered uncontrollably, her compound eyes spinning in a display of pure, unfiltered shock. For a moment, she seemed to have forgotten every diplomatic protocol. The human senior diplomat stood unruffled, a slight smile playing at the edge of his lips. Tetharian was the first to collect himself, clearing his throat. "You know what? I just remembered that I have time to stay." His voice carried a newfound eagerness. Pelik-Jah leaned forward, her earlier skepticism completely dissolved. "Please, show us more. What did you say comes after these high-energy lasers?"